the point about the monopoly of ideas is that it's over because of the net. You know, you can't have that one paper anymore. We're not living in a few to many world. Obviously, we're in a period of change where, you know, we're making the transition between papers and the net. But now the fact is that anybody can write and put their ideas out there. And, you know, the sphere of debate that increasing numbers of us live in is one where where anybody can write, where the cost of entry into journalism is very, very low. And this brings us on to the other issue, which is journalism as a labour issue, which is very, very important to think about because obviously writing on the internet is often done for free, and you know, a lot of journalists are terrified at the moment. It's like, oh my God, what's this going to do to our salaries? You know, we can't have our villas in Tuscany anymore. Oh no. Which I think is, you know, a bit disgusting and then kind of brings you onto the issue of profit. But it's very important to see journalism as a labour issue because and control over ideas and control over your own ideas as equivalent to control over the means of production. Because I was calling a friend recently because I've been when I was just, you know, saying, oh, you know, they want me to write about fluffy things, and they want me to write about, you know, and I don't know what's happening with my column, and I don't know what's happening. And he was just like, Laurie, and you've got to see this as not an issue about whether or not you're a good writer or how. You've got to see this as an issue of labour, as an issue of, you know, your work. And what I said, and a lot of journalists don't think about it in that way, partly because journalism is such a competitive industry, and it's so, you know, it's increasingly controlled by this kind of hand-down system of internships, which is what you were talking about, which is the professionalisation of politics. It's also the professionalisation of journalism. Very, very hard to get into, you know, mainstream journalism these days unless you've had an internship, unless you have that money. And, you know, it means that it's not just, you know, obviously at the top at the moment you have your Rebecca Brooks, but the next generation, it looks like it's going to be even more the sons and daughters of the elites who are entering into that profession, power talking to itself. So, yeah, very important to see journalism as a labour issue, very important to challenge the monopoly of power talking to itself at the top, and to understand and organise ideas within journalism, like we organise, you know, controls over the means of production, the means of, you know, producing your words, producing your ideas, but also it's not necessarily all bad because the idea of of media monopoly and of controlling the message is going to break down because of the internet.